Okay, I've decided to bring Disruptive Male back. It's going to be very, very different. Let's talk about the reason I'm bringing it back. I see the vast majority of men in the internet spaces complain, whine, bitch, and moan. This is the prerogative that most of these men take. And frankly, I'm just sick of it because it doesn't have to be that way. It really doesn't. If you would get active with your life, you don't have to bitch. You don't have to moan. You don't have to become a passport bra. Now, let's talk about that. Being the passport bra. As someone who lived in Japan for 6 months, I was stationed in Hawaii at Schofield Barracks. And I got to go to Guam, I got to go to the Philippines, I got to go to Australia, I got to go to Korea. I've been to a lot of places, and the women are different. Women are different. My maid, who's from Brazil, who's drop dead gorgeous, she's a maid. So the women around the world are different. However, you can find a woman that would be kind, gentle, submissive, worship you and adore you here in the United States. You do not have to become a passport bra to get that. But here's the thing, you must develop yourself. This isn't going to happen because you're just wishing and hoping. So that's one thing. So why am I bringing this back? Now, there's going to be a caveat. There's going to be a big, big caveat. My first Disruptive Male channel, I came out with a course, I came out with studying programs and same tactics. Number one, get your economics together. Number two, get your body together. Number three, get your mind together. Number four, date submissive women. And they left over 1, 2, and 3 and went straight to the women. And I had protocols and things that would get men, average men, regular men, sexual attraction for women. And that's what it became. And these men did not ever want to get economic viability. Just wasn't in the cards, right? So I've done something very, very different. If you want to get to the Disruptive Male content that deals with women, you must first get your economics together. Why am I doing that? I will be 60 years old this year. I've never had the dating problems that the majority of you men have. I've never had these issues. I've never had issues getting sex from a woman. Never. I used to wake up to blowjobs, be sleeping like, oh my, that was my life. So I don't know what it's like to be with a woman who want to have sex with you. I don't know what it's like to be with a woman and have arguments all the time. I don't know what that's like. I have no clue what that's like. That's just not been my life. So essentially, for you to get to the female stuff, now there's one female component I will give you. I've written a book, Dating the Woman You'll Marry. You can get access to that, and I'll put it down here where you can get access to that and you can work on that. But the real course is the Royal Prince program, and that's going to economically uplift you. Why do I say economically uplift you? All right, right now we're in an inflationary period of time. Things are more expensive. Gas is more expensive. The price of eggs are more expensive. Real estate, everything's more expensive. So you got two options. You can go ahead and figure out a way for you to win by making more money, or you can keep coming online and complaining with all these other losers. And this is the thing. Do you want to be a man who is self-sufficient? Do you want to be a man that's economically viable? Now, we're going to talk about some stuff here on the front end. We're not going to get into the juicy sexual topics. Why? That's a danger zone. Because if I put that up there, that's all you're going to pay attention to. You're not going to pay attention to economics. You know, I will talk about normal, regular dating, but I will not get into the exclusive disruptive male content until you graduate. Now, I have a program that's called the Royal Prince Program. It's designed, number one, to strategize and optimize your current money. That's the first thing. Then once you do that, you go ahead and you begin to add new money. And then after that, you start a business. So once you graduate from that program, then you get the disruptive male content. Why am I doing it this way? Years and years ago, I used to date 2, 3, and 4 women at the same time, and I would let them know I was dating other women. And I was a complete asshole because I could have sex with other women, but they couldn't have sex with anyone else. That was my hard, fast rule. And I had one challenge me, and I was like, you don't want to be part of my team? That's cool. And I was like, I'll just go on and find someone else. And then she said, well, why do you get to do it and I don't? And I said, how easy is it to replace me? She had recently ran into a situation where she needed $1,500 and I gave it to her like it was nothing. And she said that would be hard because she had asked other people before she asked me and everyone said no, no, no. And I said, okay, how hard would it be for me to replace you? She put her head in her hands. She said, oh my God, oh my God. She said, it'd be very easy for you to replace me. I said, exactly. That's the dynamics are vastly different. So if you don't want to play by my rules, you don't want to be on my team, that's fine. I'll find someone else. Because I knew I could find someone just like that. So this is the thing. When I was dating multiple women, I treated them like girlfriends. If they needed money, I gave them money. They needed help, I gave them help. And I figured out 3 was my limit because at one point I tried to date 10 women at one time. It was virtually impossible. It's virtually impossible. So, and now I'm in a place where I only date one woman at one time. And this is the evolution of Glenn and Cameron. I just went through some periods of stuff, and I like to call it whole management. You cannot just have a woman on the sidelines unless she's your bottom bitch. If you have a bottom bitch, you can do whatever you want. But I'm in a different perspective. I really don't want to date multiple women. I have a girlfriend. Her name's Tressie. Plan on marrying this woman. And that is my sole focus for relationships. And one of the things that I have noticed about me is when she's busy, you know what I do? I work on my business. That's what I do. I work on my business. So this is one of the things that consistently happens is with me working on my business. She's working on the project right now. We'll see each other tomorrow, but typically I dive into my business and versus looking for other women, talking to other women. I just don't do that. And because I've had such a vast repertoire of sexual experiences dating different women, that it's not hard. It's not a struggle to be faithful to her. It's just not. So what we're going to go through Disruptive Male is I'm going to talk about regular dating from a disruptive male standpoint. No whining, no bitching. Like here's the notion. So many men think that all women are 304s and all. It's not true. How is it I, a man that's about to be 60 years old, can consistently find women who don't have children, consistently find women who are very submissive, consistently find women who are really agreeable, consistently find women who just roll the pussy at me, yet for some reason, the average man on the internet, and I'm going to say on the internet, struggle. You know why I say that? In real life, 5,500 couples get married every day. So there's a group of men out here who are not on the internet. Here's a group of men out here getting with women, living with women, and getting married. But for the men on the internet, it's a sad, sad state of affairs. Whining, bitching, complaining. And I will say that in many of the male categories, there are broken men leading broken men. This whole notion of not living with a woman because it will destroy your manliness. Nothing could be more absurd and ridiculous. Now, this is something funny. There's a dude by the name of Austin Holloman, and he was in that male space. And, his first videos, don't date American women and all this other stuff, right? He was even on Kendra G's show. Guess what Austin's getting ready to do? Austin's about to get married. He's found a woman that has smacked him upside the head with that love bug, and dude's about to get married. He's happily about to get married. So it's very interesting. Now, I will say she's a foreign woman. I will say that. So we're going to establish a collective of men who are not whining, who are not bitching, who are not constantly going off. Because number one, once you get your economics together, everything changes. Everything gets better. And once again, I'm holding off on the pure dynamics of disruptive male. That will be a graduation present. I'm not going to put it out. I'm not going to make access to it until you actually graduate. Why? When I was dating multiple women, I was a good boyfriend to 3 women at the same time. You need help? I got you. You need a conversation? I got you. You need to have a conversation? I was a good boyfriend. And that's the thing that's missing. You motherfuckers want women to give you the pussy, and that's it. You give me the pussy, I take your pussy, and I give you nothing. Nothing. I just have you on my rotation. And this is why the vast majority of men are so frustrated, because the shit don't work. It just doesn't work. So what we're going to do is create a different paradigm, a different methodology, and we're going to talk about stuff that other male channels don't talk about, like writing love letters, or more importantly, how to date. The average man doesn't know how to date. Well, I met this woman. She's super fine. Let's take her for a walk. That's bullshit. You met this fine woman. She's going to get dressed up in a nice dress, her high heels, put on her makeup and stuff, to go on a fucking walk with you? Go ahead and take that L. That's a losing move. I will tell you, there's a number of venues, if you live in a large city, smaller city, not so much, that are free. Years and years ago, I used to go to the High Museum. They used to have this thing called Screen on the Green, the Woodruff Art Center. They would have free shows. And I would take women on dates, and women thought they were going on high-dollar dates. Because, once again, the crowds at these venues were different. They were upscale, sophisticated people that you could actually have conversations with. I mean, even when I was broke, I was able to manage to take a woman on a date. So you got to get creative. So we'll talk about writing love letters. We'll talk about dating. We'll talk about how all women are not 304s. Like, one show I think is utterly ridiculous is like, you walk out there and everyone has these balloons and they start popping these balloons. I'm going to do a video about that show. I mean, it's some of the stuff that these folks disregard another human being for is absolutely ridiculous. It is ridiculous. So one of the things that we're going to get into is moving forward, growing and develop businesses. There will be business talk on here. There will be stuff, because with the Royal Press program, that's the beginning program. I have another program that's $25,000. That's called the Kingdom program. And that's just too much for the average person, because number one, you need to have some money to do that program. You cannot be broke and do that program. You cannot hustle. You cannot finance. You can't talk your way into it. You need to have some money. So that's one of the things that you need to understand and have going on for yourself. So one of the things that I see that needs to be here said is we have a lack of masculine men. And then there are men who are talking about women don't like masculine women. Women don't like masculine men. I would say 100% bullshit on that. I'll tell you, I was having a conversation with a woman and she started to get uppity. You know what I did? I got in this position like this, and I said, if you're going to continue to do what you're about to do, I'm getting the fuck up and I'm walking off. We're not going to sit here and fight like children. You got a choice. You can act like an adult or I'm out. And I just was silent. And guess what? She calmed her down. She didn't do what she was going to do. She did not go out because she was getting ready to go from 0 to 100. And I was like, I'm not having that. That was me being masculine. Telling the woman, hey, you need to do this. Because if you don't do this, I'm leaving. So I think there's a deep deep lack of masculinity. There's a deep, deep lack of men who are actually out here being proactive. And we're going to actually erase that. Now, I'm under no stretch of imagination that we're going to erase all of these bad men, because there's huge silos of men on the internet who, number one, don't want to get any better, don't want to be progressive, don't want to move forward. They just don't. So what we're going to do is have our chat and our talks about how we as men can grow, as how we as men can build, how we as men, we can do the things we need to do. One of the things I think men should get is therapy. A lot of men are like, I'm not going to pay someone to sit there and talk to someone. I think that's a bad role. That's a bad way to go. So there's going to be a lot of things here. And once again, the program that'll be available to you will be the Royal Kingdom program. I may make, now I already sold that book, so I'm not going to give it away for free. Dating the Woman You Will Marry. That link will be down here. And some other books. I got a lot of books for those of you who can afford their courses. So once again, we're not going to get into the deep, deep disruptive male content until you start graduating. And that's months away. So I don't even have to worry about making that anytime soon. But I want you to see your life as being an economically viable man. And what's that mean? You drive a car that's paid off. You've got money in the bank. You have no credit card debt. And you've got a business that's making you 10 to 30 to 20, 10, 20, 30, maybe $50,000 a month, month after month after month. My dude, you will become very different. You will become very, very different from your peers. You'll become very, very different from your brothers and sisters. And one of the things I would advise you is, once you get to that level, to be quiet about your financial means, because people will start figuring out ways how to spend your money. All kinds of stuff will come up. So we'll talk about that as we go forward. But this is the birth of the new disruptive male. Economics, dating, women, and talks like that. And one of the things that's going to happen, I have another channel, Hustlers Kung Fu, black and white. That's going to become more topical because I have a boo. And some of the stuff that I was talking about as a man who's about to get married, as a man in a committed relationship, I can't talk about that stuff anymore. Just can't. It's not really good for her. You know, we were in the beginning phases of the relationship, but now it's pretty solid. It's very solid. So there was just topics I will not discuss. I will not be going off on the passport bros. I already said my opinion about that. And the things I will be talking about, her grandmother could watch if she were to come across these videos. So there we go. There we have it. For those of you who are coming to the channel for the first time, I'm going to make a deal with you. I was going to dramatically raise the price of the Royal Prince program, but since I'm doing this new initiative, I'm just going to keep the price at $1,500. I'm not going to raise the price. I'm not going to jump the price. And for those of you who want to economically avail yourselves, go ahead and jump in, and you can go ahead and see your life being totally different 12 months from now. Your life's not going to be that. It'll be different a month from now because your behavior will change, but you'll start to see the results 12 months from now, where you have money. You'll always have money, and that's going to be new for a lot of you. To always have money in a bank account, have money in your pocket. That's going to be new to you, and that's what we could do with the Royal Prince program. And the Royal Prince program is growing, so there's a lot of stuff that's going on. So go below, get the link, and if you can't afford the Royal Prince program, I have books that can help you get up to the point where you can get into the program. Because the books kind of are like starter points, but the program is where the deeper information is. All right, there we go. I said what I need to say. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.